welcome to Drum Talk and another segment of stories from my stick bag. And today I've got a whole bunch of different brushes, rods, and other things, and where I came up with the idea to use them or why I bought them. So let's jump on in. First off, everybody's probably tried rods at some point in time in their life. ProMark invented the rods. Excuse me. I had a good friend's wedding almost 35 years ago, 36 years ago, 34 years ago. Anyhow, we're married 35 years, my wife and I. So these are our friends Julie and Doug McCula. And a friend of mine, my roommate from college, Ron Lorenzo, played the gig, and he brought a different drummer because I was in the wedding, so I couldn't be playing drums at this wedding. I couldn't play the gig. So Ron and his wife and this other drummer showed up for the gig. Anyhow, the other drummer had a little set of concert toms, an 8 and a 10, and a floor tom and a snare drum, and he made these rods before ProMark was making rods. He took some dowels and he taped them together with masking tape. And I remember looking at them, and I thought they were so cool looking. Well, anyhow, 30 years later, everybody makes some kind of rods. So I was in Tampa on business one day in 2005, and a music store that I used to go to, used to get catalogs from when I lived in New Jersey. Thoroughbred Music was going out of business, and they were based out of Tampa. And that day, they had a whole bunch of these different rods from a company that I'm not even sure who the company is, but actually the name's on here somewhere. Kangitude Brushes. Kangitude Brushes. I think that's the name of the company. They didn't make them for very long. Anyhow, but they had some signature guys using them. So this is a set of Jim Chapin, kind of like brushes, which are kind of like straw brushes. Then this is Paco Surrey. Paco Surrey used to be the drummer for Joe Zawinul. Amazing drummer. And then this was Will Calhoun's model. Anyhow, I bought these for dirt cheap. A pair of rods goes for somewhere around 13, 15, 18 bucks, 20 bucks now. These I got for way less than that. It was probably somewhere around 5 bucks a pair. They were going out of business. So 15 bucks I bought 3 pairs. Anyhow, all of these have a different vibe to them. These are the big ones, the big long ones. They're about 16 inches. I will tell you that they break easier because the dowels are a lot thinner. But I found that with the ProMark rods too. They do the same thing. They break occasionally. So I have different pairs of them, but this has got a nice sound to them. I pull them out once in a while. These are kind of more brush-like, and they got some kind of little metal thing. And then, of course, these I've used a bunch, actually. They actually are weighted a little heavier than the other two. The big ones have a certain weight to them, of course, but these are small. Anyhow, I rarely take them to gigs, but I have used them in the studio, and they got a really unique sound. And it's nice to have something different in your bag. Now, they're not that hard to make if you find the right rods. I mean, I'm sure if you went to Michael's, if you got a really creative kind of guy, you can build your own little rods. But these are really nice. They probably work really well also on a cajon. So, something to think about. Anyhow, 15 bucks for the 3 pairs. And they got the funky, the kind of African material, like... They really are kind of funky. They're kind of a really cool brush. So anyhow. Now, my next one comes from my desire to have a pair of brushes that I could do that fire and rain thing. Now, this brush actually I played on a track for a girl named Jenna Tague in 2007 or 8. It was here in the studio. and I did a 5-song EP of hers. My son played guitar on it, and anyhow, she brought a song in that we did a video of. It was part of her senior project at college, and I decided to go with the track playing, go for that James Taylor thing. I have the headphones on because I'm actually recording this in Logic. I'm hoping to put some reverb so you can really hear what it kind of happens when you put something on these sounds. They actually change a little bit, you know, and they actually kind of sound pretty cool. So anyhow, I wanted something a little bigger once, so I created these. These were created out of my need for something bigger and my need to do something with these white brushes that I hate. The Vic Firth white brushes are the stiffest jazz brush you can possibly get. I've played the purple ones. The purple ones are actually kind of nice, but the white ones are just super stiff. And for me, playing brushes, I love playing brushes. This just bugged me. But anyhow, a friend of mine gave them to me, so I wasn't throwing them away. One day I wanted a little bit something else, so I decided to put a stick on it and see what would happen. So it kind of gives you a little brushy kind of vibe, but it also has the punch of the stick. Anyhow, brushes with a stick behind it. It was my idea. I did it out of necessity for a track I was doing. I've since kept them. If I was doing a live situation where I was doing that kind of brush thing and I needed a little more once, I would pull these out for that scenario, you know. And also you can actually put the tip on it, but you can also still do the brush thing. Alright, so that's the brush stick deal and why I did it. That brings me to my last one, which is my version of this. Now this is a jingle attachment you can put on any drumstick. Rhythm Tech sells this. In my quest to do Jim Keltner type things, Jim Keltner's the master of putting lots of junk together. I decided to kind of make something like this. Now this was about 2010 or 11 when these came out, and I made this in 2006 or 7. And this is my version of this. This is a commercially made $13, $14 item, and this was a broken tambourine with a screw, 2 or 3 inch screw with some nuts on it that I drilled through a Vic Firth Bolero stick and got the same effect. Now the first guy I saw do something like this or have sticks like this was Louis Bellson, so I'll give him credit. But you couldn't buy Louis Bellson sticks anywhere, and I never saw a place that actually had them. I'm sure I could have went online and found it in 2007, but I didn't want to. I needed it that day, and I went out to my garage, took my drill, and drilled me up one of these bad boys. Let me say one thing about these. Both of them. They both have the potential to go through your drum head. I actually put this one through the drum head one day. I was playing and I kind of did a slamming and I came down and put this right through the drum head. I don't want to do this to this head. I just changed this head yesterday, so I want this to last a little bit. But anyhow, jingle sticks, they're kind of cool. Let me show you what it's really cool for. It's cool for that. cool if you want the tambourine thing on it. Only problem is you better not be playing any fills because you'll get the jingle with the fills. But so anyhow, jingle sticks are kind of a fun something to use once in a while. I have lots of stuff in my stick bags like these kind of things. This is just another handful of stuff I have. I find that I use it for different things. As a matter of fact, this drumstick right here is actually an interesting stick. This is a Billy Ward drumstick. ProMark. You can buy these commercially. I think it's a 526. ProMark 526. Interesting thing is it's got a little bulb on it. And it's kind of cool for holding on to the stick. It actually makes it easier to hold on to the stick. Now, the Billy Ward today with the ProMarks is very much like the Billy Ward that he was using with a company called True Grip? Let's see. Yeah, I actually have a pair. Matter of fact. All right, so these are called True Line drumsticks. This is a pair of Billy Ward True Line drumsticks. The difference is, I'll tell you what the difference is. The ProMark version of it has got a smaller bulb, and it's about a 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch difference in length. It's actually, this is exactly 16. I think this is like 16 and a quarter, I think is what it is. But it's got this bulb. And I love these sticks. This company went out of business, unfortunately. So I'm still... They're really nice for me getting... See this right here, the bulb thing? It's got a great rim click. But it keeps your fingers there, and it makes it easier to not grip up on it and tighten up on it, because a lot of guys do that when they start playing fast. They start gripping up. Let me say something about playing fast. Since I'm a jazz drummer, that's for Jay Klein, by the way. Since I'm a jazz drummer, if any of you guys see the movie Whiplash, the one thing that bugs the crap out of me in Whiplash is to play at 300 metronome beats per minute. You know, we're going... By the way, that wasn't 300, and I can't play at 300, but I'll tell you one thing you can't do. You can't play at 300 beats per minute with your hands like this. When you're tightening. You cannot play fast if you're tightening down on the stick. You have to play loose. This bulb makes that a little bit easier, believe it or not. It would help if the stick sounded better, but I think the tips are toast on this, so you're not getting the... But the new Billy Ward does the same thing. Anyhow, that's what that's for. It's kind of a little bulb. They're cool. Now, of course, you can't find them anywhere. So, and now every drumstick's $10 a pair. So I have a tendency to buy the special LA 5As from Vader when they're on special, or I'll go into the local music store and find something like Rock Revolution, which is a 5/8 drumstick, some kind of second from one of the companies. Based on the bottom, I'd say it's probably a Vic Firth. It's got a Vic Firth kind of bottom to it, so it's probably a 5A Vic Firth that Vic Firth rejected for some reason, and they put Rock Revolution on it. Or I've got Goodwood. Goodwood, I bought it on Sweetwater Sound this summer. I actually stopped at Sweetwater Sound, and they were $4 a pair. So if I can get sticks cheap, I buy them cheap, you know? And if you look in all the stick bags I have, you would probably say you don't need sticks, but that's what everybody tells me. But I do wear sticks out, especially hickory. One of these days I'm going to try that. I think it's Vader makes it or ProMark makes it, where it's got kind of a plastic cover right in this spot so you don't break the stick there. I think it's Vader. I like Vader sticks, man. I really dig Vader sticks. Vader, if you want to give me an endorsement, I'd love that. I've been playing your sticks forever. I mean, most of my sticks are Vader. I have plenty of Vic Firths. You know, I've got the GAD sticks. I buy the signature sticks when I can. But in actuality, Vader sticks are awesome drumsticks. And I've always had good success with keeping Vader sticks longer than most of the other companies. So I'm a big fan of Vader drumsticks. Anyhow, that to be said, stories for my stick bag. You got a little dip in. I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of editing on this video, but Trueline sticks are out of business. If you want that bulby thing, try the Billy Ward. Actually, I'll tell you one other thing. If you lasted this long and you're interested in the Trueline sticks, I think they're called Trueline. There's a music store in Fort Lauderdale that I was there about 6-7 months ago now, so they may have sold out, but they had a box of these things, 5As and 7As, Trueline sticks, 5As and 7As. And by the way, the 7As are like a 5A. I should have bought all 7As. The 5As are more like a 5B. But got the bulb, and they're selling them. They still got them. It's called MEA, a Musicians Arts Exchange in Fort Lauderdale. M-A-E. It's M-A-E. Musicians Arts Exchange in Fort Lauderdale. They were still selling. They had a box of these things. And this place, a lot of drummers don't know about this place. But it's really a nice drum shop. The guy in there used to work at Rez. He's a really nice guy too. Anyhow, tell him you saw it on YouTube. You get a discount. No, you probably won't. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll talk soon. And if you have any questions about my stick bag, leave a question, and I'll try to answer it in this segment, not my Ask Earl Anything segment. Bye.